40 seconds to go. That's enough time for a run. Let's see who's grinding at the last minute. Dozion got a PB. Power room? Alright. Fresh with the 1-frame virus coil task. I feel like it was a little bit more than 1 frame. We have some downward spiral last minute grinding. Some virus coil apple any percent. Alright. Let's run the update. What's gonna happen? Taking a little longer than normal. The perfect time for Duskid to be slow. Duskid goes down at the deadline. Duskid with a little hiccup for 28 seconds at exactly the deadline. So maybe someone got another run in. Alright. So, let's see what happened. These are not final scores for the week, keep that in mind. So there are still a few challenges to be scored, like all the top player challenges. Those are to be scored. All the other points are where they need to be though. 3 of the teams going perfect on keys. 2 coming up short, unfortunately. But that's okay, it's just gonna be a little harder and maybe they just weren't as active this week. That's gonna happen sometimes. Although, I don't know how much harder we can make it so that these top 2 teams don't just earn their keys anyway. They've been doing pretty well. But assuming nothing else changes, Ikeether does have a an increased lead. Not by as much, but we'll see how the challenges go down, how the top player challenges go down. We have some more Ikeether world records. That's where a lot of their points are coming from. Looks like they're actually getting everything across the board. There are a few from Wazi, but Arbin Duck really grinding a lot this week. Yep, two side leaderboard wins from Wazi, but Arbin Duck really making a case for why they shouldn't have been on the same team. But all these other teams are like, no, this is fine. But it's all fine. Not a big deal. It's not like they have a huge advantage after all. We got plenty of people earning keys. My scroll wheel doesn't work correctly, so ignore my scrolling. I'm just in DLC General if any of you happen to want to join, by the way. Talk about things that happened. If any of you guys have replays that you want me to check out over the week, now's the time to DM them. I need to say something in announcements. But it is break time.
Break week, woo!
Alright, I have posted some more link stuff in announcements. Once again, I recommend that everybody votes on the map of the week form. So if you have any maps that you like this week, vote for them. Maybe I'll remember to show results this time. We'll see. I forgot last week.
I'll bug you about it if you haven't by then.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to go through. So
True.
let's let me get ready to start showing stuff, and I'll breeze through some other things this time. That one. All right. All right. Well, we're gonna start off with Virus Coil, doing them in the order of the sheet. The tome is almost in the same order. Let's see here. Apple any percent. Let's get that up. Let me make sure. I have a handful of replays that got sent to me, so I'm just going through them. I have the 2 TASes that are published. One's a little faster than the other.
A little bit.
We have a cool Dust Kid world record from Wet on Virus Coil. That just got DM'd to me. It better be cool. Okay, I have a few across the board to show off. Let me just make sure I'm not skipping any. I really just gotta get this up in another tab. This will go more smoothly if I get another monitor again. The only time I really ever feel like I need 3 monitors is when I'm streaming on this channel.
Yeah, I sent that one over to Zanta. Had to be sure that was in there.
This monitor just isn't even big enough to show everything. Alright, well, we'll do what we do. If I skip anything, then, sorry if I don't even notice you say about it in chat. I don't even always have chat up, because I don't have screen space.
I'll have chat up.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. Hey, look, I got record. Alright.
Yeah, I'm curious about this one. I never really figured out how to play this map, honestly. Despite having non-top player record, I don't really know what I was doing here.
Okay, so let's see. So the times on this one, it's 15 seconds for the invert key on top, and we got quite a few people that got it. 16 seconds for red key, 17.2 for gold, 18.8 for silver, 21.5 for wood. This is a level that took a lot of routing for people to figure out something good, because this was by far the least linear map of the week. Also, you know, I'd like to see if you guys want to have a nice meme, what I recommend doing is take a screenshot of the level, go into Paint, draw over it, and say what you think the intended route is, and then just put that in the Discord. You know, that should be a fun exercise for everybody.
That's gonna be a giant question mark for me, dude.
Yeah,
just draw a giant question mark while look at the map.
Yeah, so there's an intended route. We'll see if anyone does it. I have my doubts, but it was a big question mark when trying to figure out times for this, because we had no idea how low it was gonna go. We were guessing like maybe sub 14 would be reasonable for a few people. Looks like we were roughly right. There were 6 people that got sub 14. Like when we were initially testing it, we got in the low 14s. So that's why we based the 15, which Cow got. So let's start with Cow's time. Well, actually, let's start with this Dust Kid world record. What's this gonna be? All right. Wet, relatively newer player in the community, Dust Kid main, trying to compete with the non-Dust Kid players. With the Terra at the end. Falling through the spikes.
Honestly, probably the best part of the replay.
Yeah, this was also the two-player leaderboard, and mini spoiler, the two-player record actually ends with me getting a Jorf at the end, but we won't be able to watch it, unfortunately, because it's a little corrupted. That's why it showed up on the one-player leaderboard briefly. So I don't know what's up with that, but maybe it'll get fixed next DLC. We had the same issue for a few things last DLC also. So let's jump into the invert keys and skip around. Cow with a pretty similar route. Falling through the dust blocks. I imagine a lot of people will end with that down heavy. I'll just skip forward a little more. We'll be skipping a lot more today. Temp with a much bigger boost. If any of you guys have a much different route on this level, I recommend letting me know. Just say it in chat. One of us will notice, hopefully. Skip Ducks replay? We'll get there, it's 5th.
Doug, what do you mean?
We had a good showing from Plant this week. A little bit behind, but these guys are only separated by a frame anyway. One frame earlier, down heavy at the end, perhaps?
Could have been.
Idle with a good run. Plant and Idle, both also newer to the community.
Oh, people are actually posting the intended strats for this map in the chat. Well, not the Twitch chat, but the Discord.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I'll check them out. I'll show them off on stream if they're good. So you might as well put a bunch there. Indipop, not new to the community.
That's one way to put it. Perhaps one of the longest standing players registered in DLC.
Yeah. We have some old IDs this time. But we have a lot of route similarity. We've watched a few different teams. Alex is on the same team as Plant. Are any of these guys from different teams that we haven't seen? Is there a Y team representation up here? I don't think so. Maybe no good route from the Y team. I think Wazi's the highest one from the Y team.
Unfortunate.
Not to put him on blast, but let's check out what they came up with. Looks about the same. That's okay.
Is that-
Wazi did well on other levels.
Does that down heavy save time?
Invert and dip. That is the strat sometimes.
Yep.
I'm really surprised to see so many people do that ledge climb and just kind of hang out in midair for a bit. So many people are just they're just
Wait, which
hovering
one?
over
The,
that ledge.
the platform with all the dust on it.
Right here at the beginning. We'll see if JVC does it too. Okay, JVC does it mantle.
Oh, this. Yeah.
But there are a few of them that just
Yeah, they're waiting for
Yeah.
the slope. The slope. The down dash on the slope, I suppose.
yeah.
Which, you know, I can't really blame him for that. It looks fast at the very least.
Right, you just have to wait in midair.
Yep.
And usually you don't want to do that. Let's see if the replay duck doesn't want us to see. You can't just say that and then, you know, not not show it, you know. I don't see what's so bad about this.
No, I think it's like literally because it's just the exact same route the Quantum and I do.
Yeah. Well, you three certainly showed up at the top of a lot of leaderboards this time.
Yep.
Very unique strats indeed. Arb's gonna save another frame over that.
Yeah, apparently. How do you save one more frame? Well, not this way apparently. I was just behind the entire time.
Oh, you made it up.
The exact opposite of what happened on Monastery last week.
Alright, here's the top player replay.
Alright, let's see what's happening here. I don't know what to think of this map.
A different start. Pretty identical after that, honestly. Other than
Yeah,
Fishy had a different climb.
I genuinely don't know if that was better strats or if just Fishy playing better.
Well, other than the start, it is just us playing better.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure not sure that back heavy is slower. I don't know.
I lost a little bit to Fishy on that down heavy.
Wait, jumping off that well makes so much sense. Alright, well,
Well, a few minor differences, but
Yeah.
that's what we got.
I mean, that's what that is. That's what this map is. Just like very small little things that add up.
Yeah, for as many different ways you could go, it is a little interesting to see that this route ended up as dominant as it was for each of the teams. You know, each of us, we all tried a bunch of different stuff and we figured it out in the same route. Despite you could climb up at the start, you could loop around multiple times you want. Let me check Discord real quick, see if there are any good images.
There's Miles with his initial one that skipped most of the map.
Um, I'm getting some of these up. And Miles copying what Kitar did. Oh wait. Yeah, it looks the same. Okay. So I have two images, I guess, to show. So here's Miles' route. This is intended, which is pretty close except for skipping the middle. Miles did not make the map, obviously. Here's the actual intended. So the original idea was you go in to the middle, and then go left out of the middle, and then take this slope into the Zeta that isn't really a Zeta. And then you climb up, go around, and then you fall through the dust blocks. So you don't fall through the dust blocks the first time, and you land on the slope and then the slant, and then go up and around, and then all the way back through. And as you can tell, they did not anticipate the double heavy clearly. Although we made sure it was reasonable. I did also end up checking in tasks whether if you ended with falling on the slope, you can line up for like with a huge boost uninterrupted by getting these prisms. You can still hit this in 2 heavies, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah, I was not actually sure if you could hit the down heavy coming off that slow boost, but I didn't try particularly hard to line that up. The route didn't seem fast.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those situations where basically what you want to do is, you know, land in the right spot. I don't have tools on. Basically what you want to do is land in the right spot. You end up leaving your dash state a little early, and you want to just slide up all the way to the top of the slope. You know, perfect demonstration. Well, let's check out the first top player challenge, which was between Fresh and Quantum, and the stipulations for this one were Quantum Coral, they set a PB on the level before the early deadline. So before Thursday, just get what you get. And then Fresh, who hasn't looked at the map at all, has to try to beat that PB in 1 hour. And well, it turns out that this is Quantum Coral's PB from the first 3 days. And with only 1 hour, Fresh unfortunately did not do as well. So this is what Fresh was able to do in an hour, come up with. Showing a few different ideas.
Well, that's slightly
without any help. But, you know, even though a few different ideas are different, it's still barely an invert key. And still pretty similar. So, first top player challenge goes to Quantum Coral. Fresh did actually have another challenge on the map, which was the task. And in the spirit of Fresh not having much time on the first challenge, he also didn't have much time on the second one. Although this one wasn't as imposed. But it's a, you know, with tasks, I'll show the slower one first. So consider this a mini spoiler that Fresh loses again, unfortunately. Oh. Which, you know, is a very cleaned up version of the same kind of route that we just saw. But, you know, 12.7 is pretty good at least. Arbo, what was the time on your map, on your replay?
For this one?
Yeah.
I didn't put one up for this one.
You didn't?
I couldn't figure this one out.
Oh, okay, yeah. Very complex. So let's see what Sasha did. Alright, we're going up at the top.
That's interesting. Huh.
All right, 12.4. Plenty
That's
of unique ideas here. I'll slow it down a little. There's the LSJ.
Was that a corner boost off the ceiling, Jorf? Did I see that right? GWJ and then ooh, this is full of good stuff.
Yeah, it looks pretty clean. This section in the middle, no matter what anyone does, I would have my doubts, honestly. I'm just like,
Yeah, no,
there's no way
same.
this
Like,
can be fast.
yeah, I tried like 5 or 6 different routes here, and like I was never happy with what I got basically.
Yeah. But for what it is, you know, good job to Sasha for a good task.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always good to see a wildly different route like this. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Fresh wanted to do a replay of each route. One going above, one going through the middle, then up. But I ran out of time. But he said it had a chance. And it definitely has a chance, especially in 2-player. So let's watch some 2-player runs. We'll just see what we're able to watch, and hopefully my game doesn't crash. Alright, Miles and Jake doing a little bit of a demonstration run. I asked them to make sure that it worked, that the leaderboard worked. So this is what they gave us. There's a little visual glitch in 2-player. Thanks to one of the scripts that's used. Yeah. So good job to them. Phantom Matt would replace Miles, and let's check this one out. 2 Dustmen, a little bit faster than the task now. All right, we see we see the top Dustman just waiting for the ending to work out. We'll watch that one again. Pretty close ending. They got it kind of close, despite, you know, clearly some time saved to be had there. Alright, double worth coming out from Skyhawk and Avenged. Good ending. That one's very different. This was made a little early, I heard. I find it funny that Worth goes up and hits this dust. Some of the dust in levels are really awkward to try to route in, especially the little alcoves there. So, very interesting challenges for 2-player. Alright, this time we have a mixed Man and Worth, but with a pretty similar route. This time Man ending kind of as expected. Man jumping up for the prism right there. Costs a bit of time. Is Uckies around? Do we have an Uckies in chat or anything? He said he might not be around. At Uckies. He's he's online on Discord. Alright, so hopefully this works. If not, then it is what it is. Yeah. So unfortunately, there is an issue with the rare DLC 2-player, where it corrupts a few teams and it's a little unpredictable what's gonna happen with it. But I'll just spoil what the route is. We duplicated a lot of sub-sevens. If Uggies comes by, then you know, we'll perform it for you live real quick. That'll be quite a show, you know. That'll be fun, won't it? But basically, just imagine the bottom half is exactly me just falling and then doing the ending here, and then the other half is Uggies jumping up at the top. So, sorry you don't really get to watch it, but that was the second half of the run right there. You know, basically just looks like this. Well, not with two heavies. Jump, jump, heavy. That's about it. You know. I don't have a jump there, spare. Anyway, you'll just have to believe us. Top player privilege. Let's check some Apple 90%. So Apple 90% was the side leaderboard. I had a replay that claims to be the an alternate route.
Interesting.
A little bit slower. So we'll start with that one, and then we'll see if anything's different. Alright, we see the Death Warp. That's going to be in a few, I think. Claims alternate route. We'll see how alternate it is. Here's what Miles did instead of this route. Alright, not bad. Good ending. Let's see. Okay. Alex Speedy and Player on the same team. The Duck was grinding this near the deadline, I saw. Little improvement there. I remember Wazzy was sitting at about 11.3 right before we even took a look at in this level. And it took us a while to figure out any route for this level. This was probably the weirdest one to route. But IKs ended up getting a run together. Wazzy with the bot back though. By 2 frames. It's dangerous to bop a run by only a little bit. Different ending too. I wonder how the ending compares for that.
No idea. It did look like once he was ahead by a bit before the ending happened. So
Yeah, I think he lost some time at the end there. just showing off. He doesn't need that extra time save. Yeah, it's tough to do that quickly. I couldn't really get together most stuff for this one quickly either, but Aki's was able to do some work on it. I also had a challenge on this level. Let's see what happened. Alright, so low direction. Temp challenged me to low direction. Any percent on this level. Here's Temp's replay. He said he was pretty proud of the route. This is not an easy low direction. I'll have you know. It is it's quite a puzzle to figure out low direction on this map for any percent. So it might, just watching our replays might not do it justice, but think about how you would, get around all these walls. Is the answer do a dead leg and then jump up here and use that momentum? That's what Temp came up with. But I did a little bit better than Temp. I also went for the dead lake. This was executed pretty well, in my opinion. These attacks barely hit.
yeah, it's really crazy seeing how Worth hits these at all. It's like
I might as well show it again with hitboxes on, honestly.
yeah, because
I never checked this.
I'm especially the one the very top heavy prism. That's got to be frame perfect, right? That does not look like it should hit.
They're all really tight. Oh, I didn't slow it down, but you guys got to see it.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty sure if you hit heavy one frame earlier, that misses.
Yeah. It's tricky to get the height for it. You just have to make sure you jump at the right times. But that's low direction. So give me a moment. Make sure I did most of it. I probably did. Virus coil. Oh, there was virus coil, fast dash macro any percent. 1 hour challenge between Dello and Ucky, so that's a good one. I have some replays to show for that. Don't want to skip that one.
Fast dash macro, dear lord.
Okay, I have 4 replays to show. Give me a moment, I'll get these up.
I can only imagine Dello. That just sounds insane.
So at first these guys wanted to do SS, and then they quickly realized that was not a good idea. Because for the unaware, fast dash macro, fast is a plugin that basically removes a lot of friction and keeps your speed when you change directions, pretty much. So it allows you to retain speed in ways that you wouldn't normally be able to do, and it also just boosts your speed whenever you do stuff. Dash macro simulates a dash input on every frame. So that's a little unwieldy, as you might
Oh
imagine.
my god, this is
So-
gonna be so bad.
If you're holding down and you're trying to down dash in fast, you can down dash multiple times and go really, really fast. But with dash macro, you can just hold down and it does it for you every frame. So with these plugins, let's watch the results of their PBs of trying to get fast dash macro any percent. Looks like Delo super farms. He does not have an air charge right now, so he's not dashing.
Yeah, oh, you still have the ghost from the from your challenge,
Yeah,
by the way.
Okay, he uses the super there. Okay, he gets the checkpoint death orb.
Oh my god.
I think he could have just gone a little faster from here.
Maybe. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, Delo not taking any chances, just trying to win. But it's hard to win when your opponent is Uckies.
I like how this still happens during the fade out.
Yeah. So let's see what Uckies was able to put together.
Holy crap.
Uckies using using the checkpoints also. Not grinding for super turns out to be a big time save.
Yeah.
So Uckies with the win. But this was not the only thing that they ended up doing. Since they had fun with this, they decided to get SS anyway for Delo. He decided to get SS anyway. I'm assuming this is going to involve more super farms. Alright, just trying to get in the right position. Remember, it's inputting dash every frame, and every time he dashes, it speeds up pretty wildly. And every time he down dashes, that's huge amounts of speed. Alright, big super. Taking care not to hold any directions, so he doesn't down dash.
Man, not just single prism fresh, just worth super farming in general.
Okay, still gotta get this dust. But able to make use of the dash macro for a little bit. Alright, and with a good ending.
Oh!
Uckies decided to take it another step and put together a frame advanced SS for our
Oh,
viewing
God.
pleasure. So this is what fast dash macro normally looks like.
What?
Alright, so let's change the camera a little.
Huh?
Let's zoom
Wait,
out.
when did he
to
hit
the
the,
level.
when did he hit the... Did he hit that when he was on his way up? What is happening, actually?
See if you can catch up.
Wait, what was happening on the left side there?
Just manipulating speed probably.
Okay.
Alright, one more time. Actually, I should slow it down. One more time, but slower.
We're now running at half speed here.
Yeah, this is half speed. Half speed, by the way.
I like
That's
how
a double
noticeable.
light.
Yeah, I like how noticeable the hit stop is, just because everything else is so fast.
Yeah. The freeze frames showing the places where you are when you super.
Yeah.
Alright, let's turn these off before I go back into the menu. Okay, well, that was a challenge for sure. That's it for Virus Coil. That one had a few extra challenges on it. Next one on the list is Envious Obelisk.
Oh man, this map.
This one also has a few challenges on it. I think we might as well start with, not SS this time, and then we'll conclude with SS. Mix it up. Let's see what challenges happened. This was the task map. Like I said, Arv and I here both did the SS tasks. There was a challenge between Niglaria and Camel. Niglaria would any percent the level without clipping, and we'll show that in a moment. And Camel would do Minecraft SS. Two very hard to compare routes. We had this also had a low direction 80%, no clip. Let me show you guys what that looks like. Let's start with that. So I have 3 replays to show. All right. So no direction inputs allowed. Just beat the level. Wazzy going for super strats.
Getting the double hits here.
Yeah, that was 3 dust per hit. But it looks like he got a little more than he needed. So losing a little bit of time could be his downfall.
Yeah, that's a lot of. Okay, it's not that much. That was what?
Not that much extra.
Like 0.3 lost, 2 extra lights. No, not too bad. But
here's what Fresh ends up doing. Got a little boost at the start. Also going for the super farm because that's pretty crazy to play the ending of this level.
Yep. Barely landing on that.
Good boosts here, and he has a really cool setup for that ending boost.
Ooh.
Yeah. Quite the run by Fresh. Showing the optimization that we sometimes put into the weird categories. But it's the ideas that separate a lot of these kinds of runs. More than the strats at times. Especially when you have limited time. Common theme for DLC when you can't watch each other's replays. But this was not the best you could do with low directions. There's actually a clip in the level. And at first that's what we thought was part of the challenge. So Fresh was playing low direction, going for the clip. And there's this is the reason why any percent is not a leaderboard on this level. But that doesn't stop people from wanting to challenge on it. So I'll slow it down when we get there.
Superless flipless is what Fresh says.
Yep.
I don't know if you have replay for that, but presumably you know what he's talking about.
So what he's doing is standing on the top of this diamond, which is still there for a little bit longer than it's visually there. And then you can jump off what is basically the phantom slope, which is a little higher than the gap for the ceiling, and that's what allows you to jump through.
You know, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I was trying to set this up raw for the longest time, I just could never hit it.
Yeah, Fresh eventually came up with the setup. And it's still pretty rare to hit.
Mm.
The superless clipless. Which PB is that one? Do you have a replay of that one, Fresh? I'll show it if you have a replay for it. Oh, you
He
DM'd
DM'd, he
it.
says.
Okay. My streamer mode. Alright. So this was Fresh's PB at the time, where Fresh was starting to sweat a little. Like, oh no, I can't do the clip. But Wazi's like 2 seconds ahead of me. What do I do? Very challenging to get through here. Does not easily line up. That's a lot easier to do as Worth, so it's surprising to see it work out as not Worth. We also had a challenge between Naglaria and Camel. So here's what any percent looks like as Kid without a clip. And then we'll start showing our offshoot SS categories. Naglaria going for the super actually.
You have to get a decent raise run to have enough. What? There was a raise run on that?
Are you sure you mean Razor Run?
Do you mean up dash fresh?
Yeah. Yeah, Razor Run needs the wall run, which needs directions.
Okay. I was about to say, did you find a way to do up dash with or raise run with no directions?
All right, here's a Minecraft SS replay in which Camel tries to beat that Kid run that I can't really use ghosts for because one uses Minecraft and the other doesn't.
I do enjoy the capital Minecraft next to Camel's name.
Yep. We have one super and a very different ending in Minecraft. But Minecraft barely saved any time over normal SS, and the reason why is because usually you can't attack dust in the same way anymore. And on levels where you don't just get super, it's very challenging to find any actual time saves. So, Naglaria with a cool challenge win. Let's turn Minecraft off, but definitely a unique ending there for Minecraft. If it were just any percent, it wouldn't be quite as crazy, or it'd be a little crazier, but that's what I mean to say. Minecraft SS is not usually the most grinded Minecraft category. I think we got low jump next. Just making sure there are no more challenges. Write down the winners. There was also a challenge originally by Fireball and Uckies on this level, which last week Uckies performed very well in blindfold, and the challenge was, can you with blindfold beat my time? And unfortunately Uckies was unable to even commit to playing the level much, so he had to forfeit the challenge. But it would have been a very, very large uphill battle. Fireball, of course, ended up grinding it a little bit more than you might otherwise expect, I guess.
Let's go Fireball.
Fireball with a 22.8, which, let me check what that would be. I think that's a gold key.
Believe so. I don't think it's a red.
I don't know. It's just under the gold time, so that's still a silver. But yeah, it's very hard to do a boost level blindfolded. We'll just leave it at that. Wow, let's check this one out. And then we'll go into the low direction, or low jump. So here's what the level looks like when you're allowed to jump. Yeah, this time Lucky's taking on a little more than he could chew this week. But what does the level look like if you can't jump?
We're running through the low jump first.
Yeah.
All right.
We have quite a few people that did it, actually. One essay. So 20 people ended up doing it. Let's see what Spiraler did. Spiraler was one of the map makers for the level. So some relatively intended simple strats to start. I thought Spiraler was gonna go for the apple for a moment.
It looked like it would have been pretty high, actually.
Have to let go of the wall and then dash into it. Fun fact that you'll see later on, man actually can hit this uplight while grounded, but girl cannot, and kid obviously cannot.
Unfortunately.
So there are going to be a lot of man runs rather than girl runs, because girl cannot hit this prism. Alright. Any volunteers want to show their own stuff? Like Duck again wants to be dodged? I think we'll dodge Duck this time.
Doug does have his kid replay here for later, so.
Oh, right.
Plant is volunteering for this one. So.
Alright, yeah. Well, Plant got the win for the world, or was who got it? I saw Fishy had the record, but who was the other person?
What do you mean? Like for like non?
Oh, Wazzy beat Plant. All right. Plant was on top for a bit here, but Wazzy Wazzy clutched this one out. That's what it was. But yeah, Fishy with the world record, but Wazzy with the world's world record.
The good old distinction between world's record and world record.
I do actually have two different. There were two different routes that we used. Fresh, can you find? Actually, no, it'd be Fishy's old PB, not Fresh's old PB. Can one of you get Fishy's old run? That used a different route by a little. Well, they use the same route now. I haven't actually seen Fishy's replay. But grinding for a little super always helps. Always. If one of these guys doesn't get super, then we won't need to show Fishies. Plant with a few extra lanes. Not many. A little desperate there. Alright, thanks, Fresh. Oh, Duck did do some different things. Duck is also a second plus slower, which is understandable. Here's a run that does not grind for super. In the lead thanks to not super farming. But we'll lose it at the end. Just that little bit of time difference. Actually, the same time as Fresh's replay.
I was actually wondering about this one because I had timed super farm as like pretty much slower for SS, but I wasn't sure for low jump, mainly because you couldn't do certain boosts toward the end.
I'm gonna have to speed up showing some replays. I need to skip some more for other levels. Wazi skipping one of the lights. Gets it in the super. Optimization. That level's optimized. That saved the time difference, honestly. If he did one more light, that time dilation would have added up. But Fishy's gonna save another half second, by the way. A little bit behind, doing a few extra lights, but not having the heavy there or anything. Fishy did need that one dust though. Could not leave one dust behind. So 21.9, that's pretty good. So let's go back to jumping. So this was the hardest invert key time. The level required a 20.2, which if you look at the record and compare the invert time, it's a little closer, but we thought people would be, you know, a little bit better on this map. It's hard to predict early, but that's fine. There's always going to be some levels that are a little bit harder than others, and some that are easier.
True. I was actually joking about this in our team chat, but like, basically up until Wednesday, I think there were only like a handful of people who had like 20.2. I think it was like literally only me. I had like a 20.1 or something, and then so then Hoon got his run, which beat mine.
Yeah.
Which I think spurred people into grinding the map more. so Hoon might have actually like saved people from not getting their early invert on this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, some people like JVC are like, I can't let Anti-Hoon beat me.
There was a lot of the conversation about that in I don't remember if that was in the general chat or in World chat, but Wuzzy and JVC formed a bit of a coalition to mob Hoon out.
And did not succeed, as we can see.
Yeah, didn't seem to work in the end, so.
Yeah, this kind of level, that's an idea by JVC. This level had, it looks linear, and it plays very linearly. But there are a lot of little decisions you have to make along the way to really speed it up more. So it was a challenge to TAS as a result. Marv going to the ceiling. And we start to see more previews of future runs.
Yeah, Hoon was like, honestly, mad shout outs to Hoon, because this dude was grinding this map probably harder than I've seen him grind anything else.
Yeah.
It was pretty insane.
Anti-Hoon and Plant had a challenge on this level, for reference. And they went back and forth quite a bit. Wasu with the jump light.
Oh no, dude.
Should have just played girl.
Why is he no? Doesn't that lose like pretty close to like 0.2 actually?
I honestly didn't time it at all. Playing with an extra light again. Alright. We might actually see the super grinder out.
Ooh, interesting.
Did I click on no jump?
No, this is SS.
Yeah.
Very interesting though.
Yeah, cool to see that work out. I did not end up tasking this, so
Yeah, I
am
don't quite
curious.
remember I don't remember what the time loss on it is, but I'm pretty sure it's slower. Just anecdotally speaking. So, based on a few early routes we had, I had gotten baited into grinding the super farm route for a while. Tried it for about an hour, and like I was barely getting times around what JVC and Wazzy had at the time. I tried it for like 10 minutes without it, and then I got like I ended up like getting runs that were like 0.1 or 0.2 faster than theirs. So I was like, okay, the super farm is probably pretty slow.
yeah. Antiune with the 2-frame bop over plant. Needed all of it to beat that super. 4 frames better, we have Game Duck though. A lot of similarities. But taking quite a lead at the beginning. That's definitely more than 4 frames. Able to get a better ceiling boost. That ceiling boost is actually quite hard to line up.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So normally you wouldn't want to set up that final or that ground boost or that boost on the bottom in the same way that all these people are doing. They're doing it so that you can get 4 dashes. Well, let's see what Fishy does.
There's a little head bonk there.
Yeah, gets a little more speed on the slope, but really takes off in that falling section. Very hard
Yeah,
section.
for sure.
Was a little bit behind at the beginning, but it's a little hard to tell with all these ghosts.
Yeah.
Fishy did slow down a little for that mid-air jump also.
Yeah.
But Fishy with probably one of the biggest gaps, I think, this week.
Yeah, sub 19, very impressive.
Yeah, both on this level. Yeah, both of them by half a second.
Oh.
Fishy with the collective 1 second win. Alright. So, let me just make sure I did everything. But next we have a task to watch. Alright, we did all these, looks like. Okay, so we saved a little bit more time on top of that. You might think 18 is good, but we're about to go under that.
Yep. 0 second run, yeah.
Yep, same time as last week. Actually, I think you had the same number too.
Same here, yeah. 90, 69, 68, yep.
But this time we have a different result.
Oof.
You see the ceiling bonk, keeping speed along the bottom. Doing a dash there. We actually have a lot of differences.
Okay, now I'm curious.
Well, let's watch this again and let's hope that ghosts work. We'll see how it compares. But I'll take the opportunity to check what frames we arrive at places. Fun. So I noticed a distinct difference at the beginning.
Really?
You'll see it immediately. But will everyone else?
Ah, okay. So actually faster?
I think I lost time in the middle. That's my guess. But that's a pretty big difference. At the
An
beginning.
LSJ is faster? What?
It's an LSJ into an MHB at the beginning, and then I have another LSJ at the end. I think I got fortunate with how I set it up.
Wait, so, okay, just out of curiosity, how much faster was the LSJ into MHB versus just getting the slam boost?
I didn't even bother. Yeah.
Because I tried setting up an LSJ, but I just could not get it to line up.
Well, let me show you why it was particularly awkward.
Yeah.
So, for those unaware of what double tap dash is, you have to. One of the reasons why it's faster in TAS is because you can have dash inputs on consecutive frames, and in order to make a legal double tap dash that still works in TAS, you need to make sure that you have no other inputs in between those double tap inputs. So you can press like down and right on the same frame, and I'm gonna go through it. So you'll probably get a kick out of this. So I climb over, I hold left for 2 frames, I hit right for 1 frame, I hit left again for a frame, I hit down and right, let go of down, and then I do the double tap down dash, and then I do the dash jump. So that's a really fast LSJ actually.
Interesting. Yeah, no.
That's a little faster than normal, by like a frame. This
Oh yeah, no, that's
this
well, those are great
barely,
strengths, right?
yeah, this barely hits this side heavy, and then barely still lines up for this MHB. So once I finally got this to hit, I was like, well, I'm not even gonna bother doing anything else at the beginning.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I was trying to. I actually had the exact same idea, but I could never get the LSJ to line up.
Yeah,
So
it was a hard one because it required double tap, and that's
yeah,
the other one also required double tap to save me 1 frame.
the one of the anticipations, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I only saved 1 frame at the end from double tap. So here we have a similar situation, except I don't have to do any extra janky stuff. It just lines up. There's another double tap dash possible area here where you're buffering the down dash, but I actually need to hover for a frame to get the right location.
Yeah, I actually never tried it out because I was doing this entirely in Rem Advance with like. It seemed that you basically needed to go over anyway, otherwise you just miss the slope. So.
Yeah. I had the run that I had before this that was 1 frame slower, and it was like the only frame I saved in days. It didn't do the LSJ at the ending, but it had like the perfect you double tap dash fast fall, and it just perfectly lines up, and then you just also get the perfect landing for the dash input. You don't have to.
Oh yeah,
you
the
don't have to hold
landing,
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, crazy task stuff.
Absolutely. A lot more divergent than I thought it would be, actually. Like, this map, I just had so many micro decisions.
I couldn't save time going across the middle with any ADB or keeping your boost stuff, but it's nice to see that you were able to do it.
Yeah, I mean that was tricky. Like, so you needed the aerial up heavy hitbox because man's ground up heavy is like 10 units thinner, so that actually misses, but his aerial up heavy does hit.
Yeah.
So you need to like land on the same subframe that the heavy comes out. So that was a bit of an adventure to line up.
All right, so that next level is gonna be Downward Spiral, our boostier boost level. If you thought Envious Obelisk was a boost level, then this one's really a boost level.
Yeah, this was the Dash Good map.
Yep. And it actually ended up being the most commonly earned invert key. I thought some people might have some problems with it being so boost heavy, but people proved us wrong. I was thinking it should be more like 19 originally. But we had a lot of sub-19s. But we pick our invert key times before the map is even released, so even if like 20 people end up getting it day one, we don't switch it up, make it suddenly harder. Or at least there haven't been any situations where it's reasonable to reconsider. If there were a lot more. I'm just writing some of these down. On Downward Spiral, we had quite a lopsided challenge here as well between Callistus and whoever would get world record. So I'll show that one for fun first this time. So, well, actually, first of all, I'll show off. Here's what the level normally looks like. So we see plenty of people got 18.8. Dozion got this near the ending, so good job to Dozion. Showing off what's going to be 2 supers. Yeah, pretty standard route here. The challenge between Callistus and the top players this week was Callistus will get an AS and as worth and try to beat whatever the SS world record is. Now I had some warnings, but Callistus just has to beat 17.7 and he only has to miss a little dust. AS requires 90% of the dust, and you really don't need to get these prisms anymore. So, understandably, it's quite a lot better. So good job to Callistus. In the future, we'll try out things a little bit more. I had my doubts, but you know, sometimes it's just unwinnable, you know.
I mean, it's bound to happen, right?
Yeah. We are the top players are basically in a position to lose a lot of the time, thanks to some of the weird challenges. So it's hard to remove all the obvious ones. Yeah, tricking top players is something that I have some mixed feelings about because it'd be nice to allow that to some extent, but I don't want to just the awkward part is as a player that's somewhat compelled to have to accept challenges, we don't want to just have to say no. So we feel like we have to just take it, like, you know, that is kind of the rules, but we don't want it to just be straight up unwinnable. So having like a 2-second advantage on a level on top of the 1 day smaller time limit and not being able to start playing as early, you know, that's a lot stacked against the top players. And when you're comparing stuff like any% versus SS, even Minecraft SS, and the 2 players are of wildly different skill types, yeah, you get a lot of different stuff. So we're basically expecting to lose a handful without really any chance. That's why the point thresholds are the way they are. But believe me when I say this is 100% stacked against the top players in design. So the world better be winning more of these. But it does feel I just don't. I don't know. That part of the system where we have to kind of accept the challenges, but need to tell you straight up it's unwinnable, by the way, and it has to change. You know, it's kind of lose-lose. So we're playing the villains for you guys, and don't want to disappoint you too much. But we'll be a little bit more liberal with our unwinnable claims, perhaps. We'll see. They're a little bit of I guess since I'm on this topic, there are going to be a few very minor changes to challenges once again for the second half of DLC. Like DLC 3, there's going to be some stakes that are upped for the second half.
Interesting.
And there are going to be more things available for players. So
Interesting.
I'll announce it all in a little bit more detail tomorrow when I have decided on the rules. You know, just been busy, but in general, you can expect some cooler challenges that are also worth a little bit more. There's some ideas out there. We did have a challenge from Avenged on this level. I think it was Avenged versus Antihoon. So Avenged played this one quite a lot. Got a really good time, but unfortunately coming up a little short. What I'd like to do with challenges is open it up a little bit more so that we can have the top player challenge style rules for everybody else. But I can't automate some of that stuff, so it's very much if you do it, you have to keep track yourself. Otherwise, no one gets credit. But fortunately, because it worked out for top players and it went smoothly, now I can more reasonably open up the door for everyone else. Just testing stuff out ourselves, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I ended up basically coaching Hoon through this. I think it was, what was it? Was that last night? I don't remember anymore. Whenever you got this run. He basically took a break from grinding Obelisk, and he was like, okay, you know, I have to do this one too. So we just kind of sat in VC for a while. I was just talking him through what to do on this.
Yeah, we see a few differences here. We see the main use of Girl right there, needing to hit those side heavies.
Mm-hmm.
Duck staying on the ceiling a little longer. Not actually advised, I think.
Really, I found sticking to the ceiling maximum just being faster, but
maybe I'm thinking of something else. What I timed very briefly in the incredibly limited time I spent on this level was you just want to let go as soon as you got all the dust. You don't want to get on that. You don't want to get on the slope part of the ceiling because that'll slow you down too. That way you can get the better speed when you land. But that's what it looked like at a glance anyway.
Yeah, I mean, going to the right, I would agree with you, but I kind of thought going to the left would be better to stay on the ceiling longer. Anyway.
My intention with that is land on the slope on the ground as early as possible because that's a better speed.
Okay, yeah, I see.
But there's no way it's more than like a couple frames.
Yeah.
We are mostly going to see the same route from a lot of people here. Most linear levels so far.
Yep. Yeah, not really too much choice to be had on this one. It's just kind of like, you know, press the buttons well.
But I can still think of at least one thing we haven't seen yet. And there's the jump from Wazi. Onto the top girl replays.
One coming in with the almost sub 18.
Okay, not going all the way to the wall. Looks about even. Same kind of ending. Aki's normally likes to play the boost maps, but didn't play it as much this week. Lack of time. Had a little jump there.
The jump. I think I had time the jump is a little slower. Maybe
Aki's with a
hadn't
tail
retimed it
dash at the end.
Interesting.
That saves 2 frames in TAS, I think.
Really? That's cool.
But I don't think it's really that reliable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have recently found that I'm really bad at tail dashes, so I wouldn't have been able to do it reliably at least. So.
Well, you saved that time over Aki's because of the tail dash. It looks like.
Guess so.
Yep, didn't do it well enough. Fishy with the world record though. Does a little up dash at the beginning, and also does that jump for better speed. Is a little bit ahead. Does the jump into the ceiling, well, into the wall. Pretty straightforward. Alright, I have a few other replays to show on this one. Oh, I missed an obelisk replay. Oh well. Alright. Okay, you don't have a run for this one. Looks
I
like.
do not know.
Alright.
I ended up not really committing to it. It was like, this is just kind of like Rustache.
I have 2 funny things to watch. Well, actually, 1 funny thing to watch, and 1 more normal. I don't know which save state is which. So, we're about to find out. Here was my first draft, just kind of run through the level. You know, some suggested strats, some alternate stuff. I did a full hop, but Fishy did a short hop. I'd also did this as man because I didn't bother testing his girl.
Right,
yet.
yeah, fair.
But did the same kind of route. That side heavy still hits. But now we have a funny replay to watch. Same opening, just from the same save state. All right, a little bit different on the super strats there.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Loses a little bit of time too, unfortunately. So the light for the helicopter was actually necessary. Like it used to be in Zeta. Or at least it was necessary for the way I set it up. I did not get the perfect speed.
A little slight boost in.
But yeah, almost as fast as Anti-Hoon and Steel Echo there.
Almost.
Almost. We also had any % on this level. I have an any percent one to show off too, but Fishy basically does it already. We have some man and girl stuff. I'm curious about this difference here, I guess. Cork usually an any percent player, not as active this DLC, but you know, can't always be. A little Ite dash, a little different than what I was expecting, honestly. But it looks like we'll have a little variety. Temper and Plant had a heavily contested challenge here. Temper going the same way. They're on the same team. Plant pulling ahead by 1 frame though. Worked hard for the win here. Getting dust. Alright, getting the super. Good idea. I didn't time this myself. I only timed something different.
I didn't do any work on any of the sideboard stuff, so I
Alex
really have
on
no
the same
idea.
team as Plant. So, showing the same route, it turns out.
I do love using attacks as breaks, though. It's always a pleasure to see that work its way into replays.
Yeah. Wazi also with a similar route as what other people have shown. I'm a little curious how this went for teams. Trying to figure this out because we had something different in mind. Now,
that's cool.
That looks way harder than it really is because the camera doesn't really show it.
Right, yeah. Interesting route, though.
I thought you guys were doing something like this, so consider me surprised when I saw none of you guys go through here. These dust blocks were originally intended to be there for SS if you wanted to not go all the way up and then go around, but
I tried to make
very
that fast
clearly
for a bit.
not fast, unfortunately.
Yeah, I tried to make that fast for a bit. It just wasn't.
Yep, that is definitely the case.
Yeah, I thought maybe there was something like you could do in Ancient Garden where you like down dash and it didn't work out. You know.
Yeah, let me. I have a save state of this one set up too, and just you know, just to show it off easily. So you want to do the down, or you want to do the light around this corner. You need to make sure that you hit it before you actually stand on anything, because you can't fall through it. Then all you're doing at this point is you're just holding down and left. You got to do a down dash when you go over. You'll bonk the ball a little bit, but then you just jump down dash again. And this is much slower than a ledge cancel, even though it's in kind of the opposite order for 2 of the inputs. But definitely easier to execute than a ledge cancel. It's just kind of off camera in a way that you're not really used to seeing. So it looks way faster than it is. You know, hard to keep up because the camera just jumps right there at the same time. And pretty straightforward ending. And the tail dash would apparently save 2 frames in TAS. This one I don't think had as many challenges on it. We do have 2 low percent replays to show off. Kitar and Camel have a little bit of a rivalry going on. And a very close one at that. So Kitar has, let's see. Oh, alright. So I have 2 different replays to show. 3 different replays in total to show. So the challenge was Camel has to beat Kitar by 0.2. It originally, Kitar tried to make it 2 seconds at the beginning. That was pretty unreasonable. I had my doubts about 1 second, but you know, just kind of trusting a little bit that there's something going on there and someone else will look at it. I said maybe someone will accept it with 1 second, but 2 is, there's no way. That's way too long of a map, or it's way too short of a map to expect that kind of difference. Campbell at first accepted it with 1 second, and it's made clear relatively quickly that that is not going to be doable, as close as it is. But this is what you can expect from some low percent stuff. This was an alternate route that gets a little bit more dust. I don't know why that one got linked. Here is this one. I think the you're only able to get yeah, so you would be trying to get only 2 dust there, like this. That's what it was.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. Misunderstanding. I got a little confused by the times, because I don't know what I'm about to watch. So, Kitar with 16.5. Camel has to end the day early though. So the idea is you just get what you can in that time limit. And Kitar are able to save a chunk of time by not doing the same kind of entry to this area and making it more time there. So they had some different strats between them. Could have gone quite a bit lower, but very close between them as well. So it evened out a little bit. Kitar proving that he doesn't need that much of a handicap after all. After all, a whole day extra time is a lot of a handicap. Okay, that's all the ones for this level. On to Spiral. This one had a few challenges as well. This had low jump again. And it also had Pogo Minecraft free cam any percent with another 0.2 handicap on a much shorter level. Let's we'll show that one off for fun first.
Are we just throwing plugins into a salad spinner? Pogo Minecraft free cam?
I need to close my game because I used the save state. Alright, plugins, Pogo, Minecraft. First I'll show you guys what it looks like without free cam. And why they did that.
We'll see why it was enabled. Oh boy.
Give me a moment. Alright, well. Can't really tell because they had free cam on. So we'll skip why that was the case. So what Pogo does is force you to jump when you're on the ground on the next frame. So this is not Jake's PB. Camel's got to beat this by 0.2, and I mean it's a 3.7 second level, so that's quite a big ask. And it looks like he saves a little time, but not enough time. Not Jake just had a whole day to try to beat this for 5 clean points. And from my understanding, it didn't really take that long. Only needed 0.2 and a day. But that is that's the way of top player challenges. That's just how they go sometimes. Sometimes they're simple, sometimes they're not. What else do we have? We have low jump, so let's turn off some stuff. See, worth bouncing around for a little bit longer. Alright, low jump. We had a last day victory for Game Duck. Miles had a challenge with me on this one. And from my understanding, it went through a little bit of back and forth between is this a kid or is it a man-girl level. Duck and Nighthawk also had a challenge. So let's watch one of the slower runs to give an idea of how it compares. We'll watch the A tiers. Things that you have to do when you're not allowed to jump. This right wall area is pretty challenging.
I actually didn't even know Youth did this one, but
Well, he's got a replay.
Yeah.
Good to show off the difficulty on a level like this for low jump any percent. We'll skip ahead a little. This one took a little bit of routing to figure out some strats. And I had an okay run, honestly. It was a pretty early run from me in the week. So it's interesting to see the other things people came up with. We'll get to see a kid run soon too. Get a typical low jump character.
yeah, I mean the extra dash carries a lot of leverage. So.
Yeah. Kid actually does have a lot of potential. I was thinking about going Kid, and I feel like Kid is probably still faster than what I got. So in the back of my head, I was like, Miles might just beat me. But I see Miles not actually doing some of the tricks that I had in mind, and still able to get sub 19. So Kid definitely could have gone a lot better with some of the things that I thought of. But we'll see if there are any differences between me and Duck. Cow with cow strat stuff as well. Not getting the jump back. Able to hit that heavy from farther away, despite you saw a Kid catch up at the end. Was frame tied. No super grinding on this one from Plant. So far, anyway. Clean run. But we're gonna save 2/3 of a second. That part looks a little janky. I lost some time there. We have jank moment number 1 in the top right too. We'll see what Duck does. And then I'll provide more commentary, I guess. Duck gets a different boost there. Saves some time. Much better dashes on the ledge cancels. And a better boost at the end. So here's a little funny thing going on here. So first of all, you get your jump back when you land in quotes when you fall into here. So that's a nice thing to know for saving your jumps. But something you can do in addition to that, if you do a dash immediately, a perfect mantle into that area, you'll get your jump back and you'll instantly wall climb back up. So that's something that you can make good use of. What I was trying to do was basically that, and then you go over here, wall climb off the top of this one, and then cancel your wall dash by wall climbing on it. You know, some fast stuff. Kind of tight. And then you can get some funny boosts in this area, because this is an unusual area to say the least. Very unusual geometry in this level. Overall. We have
Extremely so,
checkpoint, of course. But although I did not win the world record, I did beat Miles, so good for me, I guess. Not really. The challenge is worth less than the world record. We also had some low jump SS. A few people decided to check that out. Miles getting some redemption there, despite it not being worth anything for him. Uckies and Cow had a little challenge. I guess we'll keep those ghosts on. But Uckies, not quite able to grind everything to the full extent, unfortunately, this week. Had to leave a few challenges to the side. Still put up a solid run. Not an easy category. Alright, Cow was a good idea for super there. That saves a lot of time. It looked like the beginning was a lot slower, but that super is much better. We'll check out Miles for fun. No boosts needed. Looks like the same super. The world, of course, able to share their strats as they like, whether they're on the same team or not. You just don't want to give your opponents too much secret info.
True.
So we had another difficult invert key time here. It was 17.5. This one was very rarely performed early on. It was a challenging level to route. We'll watch Idols run. We'll see a little variety, I'm sure. A lot of similar timings that we'll probably see. Unless everybody just ends up doing the same thing again. I don't know. I gave this a little bit of time, but not as much as Fishy or Camel. JVC had record here for a little bit. And they're actually on the same team, hence a few similarities. Nighthawk going under, a little bit behind. Also going for the ceiling boost. Tied with Lotus. That heavy prism is placed in a way where it spreads dust basically everywhere. No matter which way you heavy it, it's gonna spread, so routing around that's part of the challenge here. Something that normally is an annoyance, but sometimes you just gotta deal with it. Lots of subtle differences in Arb's run.
Yeah, Doug ended up going for like the actual strats that I had put out. I was having some problems with execution when I went for that run. So I ended up, making some concessions there, but
Camel with quite a different opening. This is not what Fishy does.
interesting.
Yeah, Fishy's run looks a little more familiar to the other runs. Aside from a few opening differences. Both players coming up with some crazy starts. Almost sub 16.
Yeah, then I had a short replay here that wasn't quite refined for TAS.
Okay. Had to keep up with Fishy right there.
Yeah.
Saved a little time though. Had to space out those last 2 dashes.
Yep. Too much of a boost to get another dash in at the end there. Just overshoot the slope.
Yeah, probably lost a little time on the start, but you know, couldn't try out everything.
Right, exactly. This was not a map I particularly routed out much. Just enough to get the strats in for our runs.
Alright, on to the short levels. Just have SS on these maps, although there were a few challenges. Figurative garbage. There's a challenge between Maybetta and Fresh that apparently they want to go for the first CS. A little bit easier to understand than however it was supposed to work last week. Whoever gets the first CS, so first they're allowed to SS the level. You know, they just check it out. First time seeing the level, they get an SS, and then they alternated attempts and tried to get a CS. Specifically, this requires a CS. And here are a few replays from what ended up happening. Thinking face moment. So, in order to get a C complete on a level, think of it like a C for a grade, where, you know, A is 90 plus, B is 80 plus, C is 70 plus. I think there's a little bit more nuance to it in Dustforce than that, but I don't know exactly if there is.
Yeah,
unfortunately, maybe at a dropping combo. So.
Completion scaling is weird. I think I looked into it before. I never really quite understood how it was calculated. Like, it's something to do with portion of dust picked up, I think.
Yeah. But Maybetta, I think this was second try, got a C complete, but not a finesse, so not a CS. This is the same one. Well, here's another one anyway. Maybe during the meantime, Fresh got a BS. So got a little bit too much dust on a level. Then Maybetta's turn.
Yeah, it's weird, Camel. I can't say that I know what it really is calculated by.
Ooh, and gets hit by the totem at the end. For the CA, if only Maybetta hit that totem, that could have been the win. Fresh, meanwhile, sweating. Maybetta's already gotten C complete twice. Using a very different route. Fresh has gotten a B and a D at this point. Does a super in the top left. Doesn't die until after done the level for the CS. So Fresh with the win. In 4 attempts, I think. I didn't show all the attempts. You guys can watch the stream probably. I think they did it live. You can hear about it in chat maybe. Yeah, it did look like there was some dash and vulnerability on that bear. So it was very close to working out.
Yeah, I got that a couple times when I was playing the map for SS. It never really should be a factor, but if you're a little too far left, you can get it to line up a few times.
So we had 15 people got the 10.8 time here. A lot of people got an extra bonus point on this level because there was only one top player that ended up beating it. Top players kind of ran out of time on the short levels, unfortunately. I was gonna play this level, but it was only gonna be during like the last couple hours or so before the deadline today. That's just the way it worked out because I have other stuff to prepare that you guys haven't seen yet. You know, map samples to go through and all that stuff. But I ended up having to switch over to the other level, kind of even more last minute. Had a route for this one in mind. I managed to help Fishy out, at least, but had to play the other level. Do run now? You'll see Fishy's run. That's what I'd get. Same route. But this is what's required of a 10.8. Yeah, 1 sub 10 is great. I probably would have settled for beating 10.2 though, with the limited time. So this is pretty much the intended route, with a few possibilities for what you can do with the super at the end, depending on what you do for dust. And it's a little bit, you know, like AS and CS and all that. It's a little more nuanced than that, it turns out. So some people might have different endings. We see Nighthawk with a little dust spread as a good example there. That allows you to get super a little earlier at the end, so you can just run over the dust and super. Saves a little time not having to heavy, but if you do heavy, then you can hit that totem. One less thing to super. GameDuck made one of the original versions of this map, which I am hoping to see released in Break Week. I'm going to try to get a lot of alternate map versions that are, you know, just showing off what could have been, or what original maps were like before they are what they are, like Actus. You know, Duck showing off no shoot super, by the way. We have Steel Echo. Quite a grinder on the short levels, I think.
Yeah,
Also
a big
doing
name
really
in
well.
a big name in 90% back in the day, from what I remember.
Yeah. Also 3 heavy ending. So I hope to see Duck release the map that he made before the fog trigger got added to this. Before it became figurative garbage, it was absolute garbage. Wait, it was actual garbage? I thought it was absolute.
No, these were the actual map names, by the way. This isn't flaming the map.
Yeah, this is the map name.
That's probably still hovering around in the Wii 2 thread.
Yeah. Well, I'll pester a few people and see if any get released. But Duck's original version would be fun to see released. I'll just say there were a few differences. There were another one that I'd like to see released. I already mentioned the practice week maps. Those will probably get re-released by Dello. The Downward Spiral had a very different first draft.
Yeah, Camel kind of burst into a fit of laughter when he described that one. So I'm curious about how that was that was changed. I mean, come on now, Camel. You can't react like that and expect me to not bring it up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, originally Downward Spiral had to be a short map, but we realized we made a mistake with the number of short maps and had to ask a couple to become normal sized. But yeah, I want to see that get released. Looks like Garb lost a little speed at the bottom boost.
Yeah.
But again, showing no super. No super, I think, saved a little bit more than 0.1 over the other ending. But I mean, there's that part at the beginning right here. And it turns out that's where some of the time save is.
Interesting approach to the combat from Fishy, though.
Yeah. This is a pretty well executed route. I threw together something very quick, and it was like 2 frames slower than this, where I like lost 3 frames on the heavies at the end, and Fishy still got really close to it.
Yeah. So my initial low tat routing of this was like a 9.8 something, and I was like, okay, this is fine. Then Fishy got this run. I'm like, okay, Fishy's good, but like, you know, he shouldn't.
There's got to be something going on.
He shouldn't be getting within like 2 frames of a task, right? Like, I missed something.
Yeah,
and
we had.
That's how that up heavy happened.
We actually weren't doing, or we were doing super until Fishy got this run.
I see.
And I suggested the thing at the top with the up heavy.
Yeah, that's what I ended up adding in toward the end.
Yeah, Fishy had a different strat there that was pretty close, but that's where most of the time save between Fishy's original run with super it came from. He was always doing the extra light, even when or on the left climb, even when we were setting the invert key time.
I see.
And I was just like, I don't really want to do another light there.
Extra light
but
on the left.
Gotta do it.
On the left climb?
Yeah. I just mean so on the climb on the left, right here, he does up heavy and then jump light, jump light.
Yeah.
So that doing 2 lights here I felt was pretty annoying compared to just doing heavies. So I was personally just a little dismayed to have to try to do that.
Yeah, I was doing I figured light jump heavy was better just because you could ride the wall for longer. you do have quite a lot of speed there, so.
Yeah, it's too bad you have to give up being on the wall. If you have a really good speed, you can wall climb all the way up into those spikes.
Yeah.
Although there is one extra spike placed there to prevent dust spread.
Yep.
But that's some garbage. And if you want to smell some garbage, as a Futurama episode, that's what Smelloscope is for. Invert time was 8.8 here. This one was also pretty last minute from me and Fishy. We only played this for like I don't know if Fishy's around or anything, but he probably only played this the last 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, this couldn't have been any more than an hour. Like, I think I stopped playing around 2, and you guys hadn't gotten these runs in yet. So like,
no, we didn't have any runs into today until a couple hours before our deadline, which was still an hour earlier. So I'm interested to see if you guys did anything different here, because we probably in our limited time didn't come up with anything fast enough.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I mean, it's there's some good ideas in there. This map has a few minor options and a couple interesting pieces of tech that can be used.
For sure.
but very straightforward overall. Pretty well received too, by the sound of it. Not garbage, turns out. How did teams place on this one? I think Wanzi was highest from his team again. A lot of V-Sealing and Ike Ether representation at the top. Alex Speedy on EE with Plant.
Yeah, shout out to Quantum for the ground in this one too.
No Argon inverts, unfortunately. Yeah, Argon Avengers, they need to avenge their first half of the league at this point. Alright, so let's watch Wazi. Alright, showing off one of the things that you can do. Yeah, you guys just need one more player that's active at that high level that can help route. Or more of you guys need to step up at least, because you guys have the potential. Other teams are stepping up. Like this week in particular, we saw a lot of action from Plant, from EE. Also on the same team as Alex and Monkley. We'll watch another Anti-Hoon replay.
Anti-Hoon.
Not quite the right speed on that. We see some lights and a ceiling bonk. So the one that of the top players, I think the person that played this level the most originally was probably Camel, and that's not really saying much. But he liked hitting the first blob on the outside rather than at the beginning.
Yeah, I had tried that out. I think it was a very small difference. I don't like order of a frame or two slower.
What? Yeah, you definitely played this the most. Yeah, you just didn't play. You just didn't play the short levels at all when they got released.
Yeah, the ECS is slower in Eclaria.
Yeah, it is possible to ECS, but it doesn't really put you in a good spot.
Yeah, that's really the issue with it. It's actually pretty fast up until you have to deal with the blob, and then you're kind of left with no options to deal with it.
Yeah, I actually I realized at one point that you could ECS and then actually hit the blob and then dash, and then stay on the next ceiling. And the ending was a little bit different too.
The blob dip's too low for that to be the case in this version of the map, at least.
Yes, it got lowered after that.
Yeah. God knows I would have gone for that.
Into pop showing, getting the blob on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Speedy, a victim of me and Fishy deciding to grind it pretty late, losing out on some free points. Alright, shows getting the ceiling.
I think Alex actually, I feel like he got when did he get this run? I don't remember him being this high on the leaderboard, but
Fresh was the one that thought of the 3-light ending, which turned out to be pretty tricky. I don't know if Fishy did exactly the same thing or what.
yeah, I mean, I definitely had a couple of runs where I thought I hit the 3 light, and it turns out
Fiji did
I
go
just
up
missed
top.
the 1.
After all.
Hmm.
But Ike Ether on top here. Actually getting a dash and then jumping.
Oh, that's too heavy. I'm so glad I found that because it's like it was faster and so much easier than like anything with a light at the start.
Oh, Barb doing the lights. We actually one reason I didn't really want to play this was because I tested some of the gameplay pretty early, so I didn't want to like come up with the route also.
Right.
Because I had more intended kind of stuff in mind, which was quite a bit slower, like the too heavy start. But because there was no one else playing the level, like 2 hours before the deadline, I was like, all right, well, let me actually look at some of this because I don't remember ever getting an 8.2 from anyone. Like,
Interesting.
yeah, normally what people are able to get within the first couple hours of the maps being released is better than what the top players get in like the 10 to 20 minutes that we grind for just playtesting and invert key time setting. Like we only spend a small amount of time like that on each map. So the invert times are usually a little bit slower than what we got, but what we got is still like 8.4. So just thinking like, how do we get lower than that? Well, I removed the blob at the end much earlier than that, but we were just thinking we'll see. Okay, people beat our brief time. We'll have to think about routing a little bit. Or in the case of like Envious Obelisk, we're just kind of sitting on a sub 20, and no one's even got a sub 20 yet.
Right. Yeah, that was that map was tough. Oh.
Yeah, so it's always a guess what kind of times are gonna happen. It's hard to predict what strats are gonna show up that we don't come up with in 10-15 minutes. So there were the two heavies at the start here, that saved a little over 0.1, which made up most of the difference, and it's just execution after that for the most part.
Yeah, I believe it was like, I think I clocked it as like 8 frames compared to a few of the light strats.
Alright, we have actual garbage on Alice now, so enjoy that.
Nice.
I do have one last challenge to show off. JVC foolishly challenged Camel to a one-handed run here. So this is what ended up happening. Let me the requirement was any percent one-handed as Dust Kid first try. So what is your first try?
JVC's commentary on this afterwards was pretty funny.
Yeah, he did not realize or remember that Camel played. So how Camel's buttons are laid out, he has WASD for directions, shift for dash, and spacebar for jump. So that's everything on one hand already, except for the attacks.
Right.
So if he just wants to hit that ending, he could just move over to the ending and then move his hand across the keyboard if he really wanted. JVC, on the other hand, does not have that luxury. And Camel could just rebind something to like heavy on E.
Right.
So that's JVC's attempt. Camel had in fact seen the map before though, so at least knew that you could go to the top right. But note that this looks like pretty normal movement until he has the heavy. You know, it's pretty normal camel stuff.
Oh dear.
So even if camel went all the way around, it would not be close. So JVC taking one for the world right there.
Yeah, he did ask for a 30-second handicap, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he almost won.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with that 30-second handicap, it was not enough, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh wait, was that a 40? I could have sworn that was a 30 something. Okay, selective vision, I suppose.
Yeah, JVC got a 46.75. So
Oh,
even with that 40-second handicap, it was
I'm
not
gonna
enough.
pretend that I said 40-second
Yeah.
handicap.
Yep. Even with that 40-second handicap, not quite enough
Alright.
on
Well-
an 8-second level.
Yeah.
That wraps up the recap, I think. Let me check what's up in the top player versus the world scoring. And I have to change one thing real quick. Give me a moment. I'm gonna finalize a few point things. Got to make sure it doesn't just break because I'm about to run some untested code.
That's always a wonderful thing to hear.
Alright, let's see if it works. Alright, well, execution completed, so it probably worked. Yeah, it all looks fine. At a glance, anyway. Yeah, we seem fine. Alright. Okay. Untested code coming out on top.
Yep.
Okay, so let's check out our scoring once I get OBS ready. I'll just close Dustforce for now. So time to do a quick addition. You know, you can kind of see where this is about to go. So the world winning one extra world record over top players and winning over 50% of the challenges, win a few more points over top players. So world with that 1 point advantage. So good job to the world. Winning some forfeited challenges. Let me fix the name of this. Good job to that world winning that forfeited challenge for 5 points.
For what it's worth, JVC did kind of scam himself on the camel
Yeah.
challenge, so.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen. There's gonna be a lot of leeway. It doesn't really matter. But the world winning 3 of the world records this time around. Virus Coil, Apple Any Percent, Spire Real, Low Jump Any Percent, and Smelloscope SS. And it's a big hit whenever the top players don't win a world record. So that's a lot of points that go in the other direction. So normally this is about where I expect the weeks to go. The world is likely to win more points. I mean, there's no chance that the top players actually have to win points and challenges. This is more just to rub it in your faces. The top players are probably going to win most of the records, but for each record that the top players don't win, that's some challenges that they don't need to win. It's better than winning a challenge. It is 100% designed as an uphill battle for top players. We just got kind of lucky last week. That said, keep it up. There are going to be a few challenge changes for World versus World challenges, a few challenge buffs for the second half of DLC. Like last DLC, I increased the number of points that they can be worth. Actually, I added challenges in for the second half. This time, what I'm adding in is basically a double challenge, and I'm adding the ability to do more challenges. And I'm adding the ability to use the same kind of rules that top player challenges have for normal challenges. So, although this doesn't affect top players versus the world, you guys can now do stuff like, dust kit any percent if it's not even a leaderboard. It won't be automated though, so you're gonna have to keep track of your own PBs for some of them, especially if you're doing silly stuff like Pogo Minecraft any percent. And you guys can have handicaps or whatever you want to do. You'll have more ability to do those kinds of challenges, and they can be worth more points if you like. So challenges are going to get a little bit more complex and interesting if you like them. I don't want to do too much stuff at the beginning, but I did not know if I could reasonably expect top player challenges to even be okay in the first place. Now that they've been tested out a little bit, I can open up the door for more open-ended challenges again, since people are actually kind of interested in them. In the past, people have not liked open-ended challenges like this, so it's good to see some interest this time around. But you get a lot of points from challenges.
True.
Let's check out the overall leaderboard. So these are now the current standings. During week 2, Ikeether widened their lead a little bit more. They earned a lot more points at the top of the leaderboard than Team V Ceilings did. That is in fact most of the difference here. Or that is in fact the difference here if you just compare
we're
these.
actually equal everyone else, it looks like.
Yeah, so V Ceilings earning a little bit more from getting more keys early. This time they got a lot back in challenges, but they didn't win as many top player challenges as Team Ikeether. So things to think about. Everybody got a lot more top player versus the world points this time because we didn't even have 2 people play one of the maps. So everybody that played the level got a point. So it was fair. Not unreasonable bonus points. Enjoy your points. Unfortunately, Argon Avenger is not earning all the keys they could have. Hopefully this kind of kicks them into earning them in the future, because they're gonna get a little bit harder. Yeah, just a little bit harder. I do still expect it to be reasonable for the best and most active teams to go perfect on keys, but the top keys are gonna continue to trend very slightly harder. We don't want, you don't really want to see 41 or 36 invert keys.
That is a little egregious.
Yeah, but I also really don't want to see 8. And you guys are definitely capable of better than 8. No offense. So it only looks rough because there are very few not perfect scores. That said, V Ceilings, you guys gotta kick it up to compete with Ikeether. You gotta work on your routes. Gotta get JVC more involved. Indipop. Gotta compete with Ikeether. Take them down in challenges. You need to target your challenges. You're gonna have more challenges and more worth out of challenges to play with. So that comeback mechanic's gonna be a factor. Challenges
Comeback
are
mechanic.
yeah, that's part of the league. So that's what happened last time. We could see a repeat situation if Ike Ether falls asleep at the wheel. Better watch out. Last time, Neon Enthusiasts, they had the league, they had the lead in the league for the entire DLC 3, except they lost it in the final hours, because of challenges. But it wasn't just because of challenges. They could have stepped it up in the last week.
Rule changes, Campbell says.
They literally slacked off in the final week. So if Ike Ether doesn't slack off, then they'll be okay. Camel also didn't really do too much. Camel was the lowest scoring top player. Could have won. Yeah, you did. I mean, all the top players, they were the top 4 seeds at that time for a reason. So, we're going to check out the themes for weeks 3 and 4. It's break week, which also means it's time to make some maps. So, you guys have a week to make some maps. A little bit less than a week. All right. So, I'm just gonna reiterate a few things before I show off the themes. Let me fix OBS. Okay, sometimes it doesn't show up. Let me also get this post ready. So I have 2 sample files as always, and 2 themes in mind. No decisions to make, unfortunately. No prompts. Just some themes, and that's what it is. But I do have a special guest that made these aesthetic sample themes this time. C was responsible for making a few samples, so we're gonna see some C samples. Say that as many times as you like. Although he chose not to be on a team, we got some cool samples that work as a little window into how his maps are made. So let's check him out. So week 3, the theme for this is pillars. Now this sample looks a little bit like Hideout, you might say, but we got a little foresty foliage going on. We have you can put in a prism or turkeys, doesn't matter what you put in, but you see a lot of pillars here. The pillars don't have to be shaped like this. They could be much wider if you wanted. They don't have to be like Hideout. This is just an example. But like other themes, you can do what you want with it. This is just the starting point, but pretty nice looking, of course. See, adding quite a bit of detail to the props here. So this week 3 theme is going to be more for the experienced map makers, in my opinion. So keep that in mind. And we have a little bit more detail on how it's put together on the right side. So this has been on my wish list for a while for samples to show which one is actually which and kind of peel apart the pieces. So if you really want to look at how these maps are made, just scroll over and you'll see. Now you can see that there's a little outline around all this, and there's a little darkness over there. So definitely a good theme over here. The lamps, make sure you copy paste those if you want to use them the way they are. There's a few props around them. you know, just to show what's going on here. You can play with it yourself. We got 5 props there, and then the wire that it hangs from. But we have a big list of all this stuff, and then assuming you start with this file, just delete the sample line script. Also, please rename the file because everybody sends me the same file name, same map name when they give me their drafts. So whenever you get the file and you just want to, you know, make your own version, just be like DLC. You don't even need DLC in it. You can be like EE week 3 best map, you know. So just call it something like that. And then you can come up with a real name later. That way I can distinguish. But like I said, we got some pillars to work with. A little bit hideout-like, but it doesn't have to be hideout. You can make some big pillars. You know, they can be connected. You know, maybe this is all one pillar. Maybe you're making a climbing map. My only thing to caution here is don't just add spikes willy-nilly, because then we're gonna have a lot of dwarfs. So I'll have to be careful about that. And if you don't like ledge cancels, then this is a theme to be careful of. I saw a lot of people saying things like, I don't know if I want any more boost maps. Well, this is probably not going to be a good theme for boost maps, at least. But DLC maps always have this kind of cycle that they go in. They're always very reactive. Like, this week had a lot of worths. Alright, I suddenly have determined I hate worth, and therefore we're going to have a lot of boost maps next time. Okay, well right now we just had a few boost maps in week 2, and I imagine that'll affect how many boost maps will show up in weeks 3 and 4. So don't be too reactive, in my opinion. You know, just make what you want to make. You do have the ability to choose what character your leaderboard will be, unless it's a kid SS. Those will be a little bit more carefully chosen, just because I don't want them to be too silly. You can still have a kid SS, and I imagine we'll have at least one, honestly. But hey, you can have kid challenges now. Those are part of the rules now. You can now have kid challenges. So even if it's not a kid level, you can still play kid and man and worth, however you like. But yeah, that's week 3. A little bit botched now. And for week 4, we have something that is almost like a combination of some past themes. You know, a little similar to some past themes we've had. There's a similarity to week 2's theme with the tiles here, but it's blue and it kind of peeks through. You see the stars and these glowing light rays. So another nice level. And like the last ones, he showed what all the pieces are. The gameplay theme for this one is narrow. So narrow specifically referring to a constricted space to some degree. That doesn't mean that the level has to be, you know, this. You know, this would not be a good narrow level.
Baby's Playground, anyone?
Yeah, not a good level. But what we have here, this is a pretty good example of what narrow can be like. Wiring is an example of something that still gives you space and still opens up at times, but it's still pretty narrow in design. Shaded Grove is a really good example. That's the one that I have listed in the post that I'm about to copy paste now that I've revealed the themes.
JVC waking up when I said Baby's Playground.
Yeah. So, since I have just said the themes, I am about to copy paste some info in Discord, so give me a moment. If you have any questions, now's a good time to post them and I'll answer them. We are going to make threads in each of your channels for week 3 map and week 4 map. If you
Oh, I
happen to
already
make
did.
them in advance, that's fine. Top players will have a little bit more permission again to help play test all of your levels. So if you want something play tested, get it play tested. We need your teams to play test the levels to make sure they're fun and actually enjoyable to play. But we got some work to do. It's break week, but we gotta make some maps. Okay, time to upload a bunch of files. We'll see what orders those show up in. Nice. Alright, so in the announcements channel, I have posted the theme info. If you guys don't make threads in your team channels, then I will be doing that shortly. I will be assigning which levels are short and which ones are normal length in each one of them. Off the top of my head, we're gonna have short maps from Ike Ether and I don't know, let me just double check.
Oh boy.
So week 3, the 2 short maps are V-Ceilings and Argon Avengers. And week 4, the 2 short maps are Ike Ether and Y Team. So every team has been responsible for at least 2 and 1 of each. Ike Ether just happens to get 2 short maps because we're expecting another Sour Please, I guess. They just have fewer map makers, probably.
Right. Let's not have a reprise of that one.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be so bad. It's a short map.
Yeah, true.
It'll be a week 4 map. So let's see. Hopefully you guys like the themes. Were there any questions? Yeah, you guys can't be trusted with normal length maps, which is why I have to give you guys another short one. What I would recommend is, although we don't want to end on a bad note, the more experienced players or map makers should probably work with week 3, but you should still get someone experienced to work with week 4 to, you know, make sure it's good. Because the week 4 theme is a little easier to use than the week 3 one. You don't have to do everything exactly the way it is. That's just you know, emulate them to the best of your ability. Do what you want with them. The idea is for them to be similar in theme. Pogo, I think, doesn't include any jumps, by the way. So, if you're curious about that, Pogo doesn't force a jump input, so you could have a low jump Pogo run. That would be valid. And still 0 jumps, but you'd be able to go pretty high up. But yeah, we got some C samples, so enjoy working with those, and you can see what's behind the scenes. Lots of C sounds. Is there anything else to go over? Tomorrow and over this week, I'll be doing a little bit more management kind of stuff. There are a few changes I'll have to make with challenges. Like I said, I already said what they are. I'm gonna try to think if there's anything else I need to adjust. But you know, first half of DLC 1 is, or the first half of DLC 4 is over. So take a little break, grind, not customs, play actual garbage. I'll try to influence a few maps to come out, like that one. Maybe if Delo's around, he can put out the original Actus.
Oh boy, that should be interesting.
Yeah, that one's pretty different too. Do we have any streamers out there in the wilds? Anyone want to stream map making? I don't see any Dust Force. Maybe we'll do something with a break week exhibition also. I'd like to do something again a week from today, just for fun, but no promises at the moment. It'd be nice to do a little bonus top player versus the world thing. Maybe we'll put another point on the line. You know, like a relay race. Each of you guys can just IL one level. Then we just have to do them all in a row. That'd be pretty funny and not very easy to show on stream in any way.
Yeah, for sure. There's no way that would really work, right?
No. It'd basically be like, let's say you took one team and they just did the IL of each level in a row, but the top player has to go through the Nexus and do them. But I'd rather make it DLC relevant. So, if anyone has ideas for that, you can post them. We'll entertain some ideas. Planning on hosting a break week game night. That'd be fun. Yeah, we had some stuff last time. Last time I wanted to do something a little more special, but that's when I got COVID, and that didn't work out. This time I don't really have a good plan. So I'm not really doing anything because there's nothing in mind. So I don't want it to go poorly. But it could basically be Abrupt Showcase too. That's what it kind of is like. What I recommend is post that kind of stuff in the Discord. Put it in DLC General.
Yeah.
Put it in Trash Talk. Call someone out. I guess I do still want challenges to be moderated. So, no offense to the world, but you're not allowed to send challenges at the moment. Lock that real quick.
I mean, there's nothing to challenge on, so.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be spammy. I mean, every other channel in the Discord is allowed for spam, just not that one. Yeah, Camel getting in the last word for the first half. Top players win again. He did take some L's this time. Alright, I didn't see anyone to raid. Did anyone have any suggestions?
I got nothing.
Alright, well. Who's offline that deserves a raid?
I mean, we do have Camel to default too, so.
We did them last time.
That's true.
Who streams that